Hobby Quick Hits. Delivering that breaking hobby news directly to your earlobes. You want to know those hot drops from the card shop? We've got you covered. With your host, John Newman.
Welcome to episode 121 of Hobby Quick Hits. Today's episode, my approach to this year's National specifically. What am I looking to do? What am I looking for? What am I looking to observe? That sort of thing. So, not going to be a long episode, but want to, hit a few points there. I know this time of year, right, heavy national content, maybe ad nauseum to a point. I get it. But definitely wanted to talk about, now that we're in single digits away, talk about, what I'm kind of my itinerary, so to speak, and what I want to see that's happening on the show floor. So I'll keep it short and sweet. I hope to meet a lot of you there. But before we get the show started, let's hear from our great sponsors, Mojo Brake.
MojoBrakeShop.com is the best place to get your sealed wax products and brakes. They not only have the best selection, but the best prices. Whether it's a box or a whole case, they are your guys. They ship worldwide to your doorstep. Their reputation as one of the most trusted in the hobby goes unmatched. They are the 2021 Topps Rip Party Champion Breakers. From sports card to Pokemon cards, their selection can't be beat. They offer daily deals and pre-orders.
Hey guys, John Newman here. Mojo's prices are already great, but to save an additional 10% off anything in their store, use the code QUICKHITS. That's QUICKHITS. Check out the full service store that's open 7 days a week in Santa Clara, California, or the website at mojobreak.com. All right, it's me this week giving you this week's new product releases, and it's a very short and quiet week. I think a lot of the companies are ramping up to the National to, debut a lot of products there. So this won't take long. On the 20th, 2022, Historic Autographs Trivia Set World Series Cut Signature Edition Baseball. Yeah, that's all one product. Let me catch my breath. Same day, 2021-22, Panini National Treasures Basketball. Also on the 22nd, 2021, Panini Chronicles Football H2. Also on the 22nd, 2021, Panini Donruss Optic Football, one of my personal favorites. Also on July 22nd, 2021, 22, Panini Prism Basketball Fast Break. And that's your choices for this week.
Time for the segment where you ask me a question and I answer it here on the podcast.
All right, today's question is one that I've got a few times from a few different people. So I figured, man, it's that enough quota for it. I'll run it in this segment of Hobby Quick Hits. And the question basically is, with prices softening and market correction, if you will, we saw everything rise and then kind of settle down. Some stuff went further down than others. A question I get asked, is there a part of the market that still has room to grow or is still vastly undervalued? And one of those, one of the first things I think of is, and I know a lot of people don't like these things. I'm not, and I know popularity factors in the price. I'm not naive, but some of those 70s and 80s stickers releases and, sports, non-sports. I know I'm not a soccer expert, but, some of the soccer stuff only had stickers. We've got this real rush for, like, rookie products of, celebrities, musicians. A lot of those are stickers. And so I think that market still has some room for growth. I think I don't want to say it's untapped, but I think more people are going to know about it or become aware of it, and there'd be more people involved. And so I think some of those prices eventually may climb. Some of that stuff's already actually quite expensive, depending on what you're looking for. I'm looking for a Billy Joel rookie, which is a sticker for in the 70s. Believe it or not, it's hard to find and not cheap when you find it. And so probably going to be on my want list / hit list for a while. But some of those sticker issues in 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s, some food issues, right? Some regional issues that at the time no one gave too much thought about, other than the local community where these were released in. Now people are going back and trying to find those cards. Many of those type of cards, were thrown away, destroyed, beat up, and then thrown away. And so I think there's some diamonds in the rough to be found in that aspect. Now, there's other people who say, when it comes to stickers, I'm out. I'm not one of them. I've really warmed up to stickers. Now, I've never been completely out, but they weren't always my favorite. But I've sort of grown, kind of fond of them, and again, think there's some value there. So there's my answer.
Let's go round the hobbyverse and catch up on this week's hobby news.
All right, not a heavy news week, but some stories to cover. We have some Gretzky rookie card news. We have a criminal arrested and about to serve his sentence for stealing cards. And Suze has a new job. And we're going to talk a little bit about the National. Let's start off with the Topps news. There's been 2 Topps Gretzky rookies graded 10. 2 O-Pee-Chee Gretzky rookies graded 10. One of them will be at the Heritage's summer auction, expected to easily command over $1 million based on previous sales. Let's talk about previous sales. In April of this year, one of those 2 copies brought $1.22 million at a private sale. And a month later, through a private sale through PWCC, the other Gretzky PSA 10 Topps brought $1,050,000 through that private sale. That one that went through PWCC's private sale will now go on to Heritage's summer auction, and like I said, easily expected to command $1 million. Also, some stats with these cards. 8,600 Gretzky rookies have been graded by PSA. Only 2 have gotten that PSA 10, and only even 127 have garnered even a 9. So my 6 is starting to look better than I initially thought. But all joking aside, if you want to get one of those 2 10s, head over to Air Heritage Auctions and get registered. All right, let's talk about criminal. Obviously we report some of the burglaries and break-ins that happen. We talked about, Kentucky Roadshow, Jimmy Mahan's store in Lexington getting robbed. Our very own sports card shop at Moco in New Buffalo, Michigan was hit as well. And the same criminal, Jason Cates, out of Knoxville, Tennessee, his both of those stores and 2 more in various states, becoming a federal case as it crossed state line. Accused of taking between $250,000 and $550,000 worth of cards and wax, and that's not including the damage he caused to the stores in breaking in. And he will be pleading guilty. But the sentence to me does not match the crime. He's going to get potentially the highest he can get is 5 years in prison with 3 years supervised release. I don't believe it. I don't believe that's enough time. We need to have deterrence, right? And that's very little time for the amount of damage and hurt he caused. But that's the way it is. And at least he's caught. At least he's going to serve some time, I suppose. But to me, not enough. Susan Lujarash, or Suze, as she's more affectionately known, has a new job, as we heard last month. She resigned from her position at Golden. She will be the new marketing manager at CSG Grading. So I know Sue. She was on Hobby Hotline with us. Want to wish her the best of luck in her new endeavor. And speaking of Hobby Hotline, just a reminder, Hobby Hotline, a conglomerate live podcast on Saturday mornings and Tuesday evenings with myself and 19 other content creators. We have a live time slot at the Mike Burkus main stage at the National. It will be Friday, July 29th from 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. So we get a whole hour this year. We have more hosts. We currently have confirmed 13 of the 20 hosts will be able to take the stage and, banter about the hobby. Maybe probably get some interactive, some maybe questions from the audience. And this show, or, the parent show of this show, Sports Card Nation, will have a live time the day before, Thursday, July 28th at noontime Eastern. We will take the stage. I will have special guests, which will be my good friend Danny Black and my other good friends, Oz and Tony from the Cousins Collectibles podcast. Three great guys, and myself. I'm not sure how long we'll have, either 30 or 60 minutes. But don't miss it. I'll have some Hobby Quick Hit shirts there, actually, to give away to a few audience members. So that's Thursday, noon, on the Mike Burkus main stage.
And now, our feature presentation.
All right, so we're, again, very close to the National. Excited to be back. First time for me driving to the event, which will be very cool. Be able to bring some more stuff. I'm staying at a beach house a block off the ocean. My wife is going with me. She will not be going to the show, but enjoying the beach and a book and a beverage and just getting away from work and home, which is good for everybody. So I've said this before, from a financial aspect, it's a little bit better for me because here's why. When I travel to the National by myself, under normal circumstances, when I fly, like last year to Chicago, expenses come out of my business account for flight, hotel, food, all that fun stuff that goes along with traveling. But because my wife's going on this trip, we're driving, so gas money comes out of our joint account. The money to pay to rent the Verbo comes out of our joint account, and food and stuff comes out of a joint account. So instead of coming out of my business account, it will come out of mine and my wife's joint account. So saves me a little money. Very thankful for that. Thankful she's going and gets to enjoy a week away from her job. She's a nurse and very stressful. And it's funny. I'm going this year, folks, to the National. And this year I have a new job, so I left a very stressful job for a very less stressful job. And so, as much as I enjoyed the National, last year I was just looking to get away from work for a week, and I didn't really care. This time, less of kind of trying to escape work. And the nice thing with my new job in the teaching profession is I have summers off if I choose. So I am working summer school, but I'm going to be taking 4 days off from summer school to attend the National. My previous job in the transportation field, it was really a bear to get time off. And sometimes I was really worried that I wouldn't be able to get time off to go to the National. It was like pulling teeth, and sort of got a guilt trip when I took time off. So those days I will not miss from a personal point of view. So like I said, staying in a beach house a few miles away from the convention center. I'm staying with some of my close friends and hobby hotline counterparts, and Brad Bethune, Logan Ward, Val Mars, Logan's son Tyler, and Uncle Rich Klein will be staying with us. It's his good sized house with a deck and a grill, and so plenty of room. And part of the National, and it's not that we forget to talk about it, we don't, but part of the fun in the National, right, is spending time with folks that you enjoy their company, and you share that common thread, in this case to the hobby. But we have also more in common than just that. So we're all gonna have fun. Things I'm looking forward to. I'll be on the main stage at the Mike Burkus main stage twice, Thursday at noon as part of Sports Card Nation Live, and on Friday at 10 a.m. With the crew from Hobby Hotline. That ought to be fun, too. There's going to be 12 or 13 of us on stage for that one. For Sports Card Nation, I will have some special guests, Danny Black from Sports Baltimore, and Oz and Tony from Cousins Collectible. And so we're going to, I don't even know what we're going to discuss yet. We got time, and a lot of stuff can happen between the time of this recording and airtime, showtime on the main stage. But love to see you. Come check either one of those shows out, or both. Definitely try to be interactive and take some audience questions and that sort of thing. So hope to see you there. So those, I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to meeting, people for the first time, and as always, meeting people again, right? It's kind of like every year. It's like I've heard people call it family reunion. Well, it kind of is, right? We get to see people. We circle that week on the calendar, knowing we're going to see, people in the hobby that we're friends with and close with, either for the first time or again, and have some fun and make some memories. And this year, no different, right? I've heard some people not making the show due to maybe either financial reasons, work schedule, cost of it, location too. I know this is not an easy location to get to, especially from, let's say, the West Coast. And that stinks, but I understand. So, one thing I'm going to be looking for is attendance, right? Will I notice an increase or a decrease from last year? And obviously that's sort of hard to tell. It's going to be very crowded, but, you get a general vibe, right, of the room. How much does it feel like there's more here this year than last year? Does it feel like there's less? So that's one of the things off the top I'm sort of going to be looking at as an observation, right? Another observation I'm going to look to make, as a seller. Now, I'm not set up at the show at the National. I'm also not bringing a lot of cards to sell, if any at all. But as a seller, right, doing local shows in New York State, I want to see sort of the temperature in the room, right? We've seen prices go down, correct themselves, if you will. Is there going to be buying opportunities? Are dealers going to be, for lack of a better word, stubborn, where they're not going to want to match kind of the going rate or comps? Are they going to either not put stuff out or put stuff out, overpriced, if you will? So I'm gonna be interested to see sort of the temperature of the selling. Plenty of people there are going to be buying cards, and plenty of people are going to be there selling the cards with their briefcases, right? Their card cases going around, buy, sell, and trade, right? It's what makes the National Trade Night this year, first time ever, hosted basically in the National, on the National floor. I don't know if I'll be attending that. There's another event I have that night that I will be attending. That's Mike Moynihan's get-together at the Sheridan. But maybe check it out a little bit briefly. I'm not a big trader of cards, so that won't do me a lot of goods. I'm more on the buying and selling side of things. I'm not saying I've never traded. It's just not something I do a ton of. I mentioned the event. You got Mike's event. I also plan on attending the collectible party that they're hosting. I'm not going to give out any info. That's a by invite only thing, so I'll just leave it at that. I was also invited, thanks to Val, to the PSA party for their registry members. So I'll be attending that as well. And we'll probably do a hobby hotline sort of dinner like we did last year. At least I hope so. And so almost every I like to have a dinner with friends too. And so definitely gonna have a full schedule. Got to kind of figure out how to make it all work. As far as cards go, like I said, I finally got my Jackie. That wasn't cheap. Then I went to Dallas and spent a little more money than I anticipated with a Jim Brown, Gretzky, and Joe Montana rookies acquired there. So that dipped a little bit into the national spending. But I had, two good shows in Syracuse where I was set up as a dealer. That helped offset some of that. But, for about, normally about 30, 40 days, I kind of stop buying and save up money for the national trip. I did that. I just didn't do it for 40 days. It was somewhere between 25 and 35 days. So it should be all right. Maybe a little bit less to spend. But again, what I said kind of when I started this topic, I'm saving a little bit with my wife making the trip. As some of those funds that would come out of the business account come out of the joint. So that was a huge plus. The timing couldn't be better there. What am I looking for? I'm not shy to sort of say, and these are in no particular order, and I probably will not be getting all of these cards mentioned. They're just on my hit list or target list, if you will. But a Koufax rookie, Seaver rookie, Gibson rookie, heavy pitchers on my list. Musial, Connor McDavid, Young Gun also on there. And those are some of the bigger cards. Like I said, I'm not going to get all of them. If I can get 1, 2 of those, that will be successful. And then there's plenty of, $20 cards, $50 cards that anything I can maybe get a deal on for even show inventory, let's say, or some PC stuff that's not as expensive as those rookies I just mentioned. And obviously, one of my favorite spots, right, the Singles Club. We had Chris on a month or two ago. Everything's $1. And when you think about it, that's pretty good because even the dollar store is $1.25 now. But Singles Club remains $1 even with inflation. And so I'll be headed over there at some point and get a stack of cards to take home with me. And I might wind up spending a little more than I usually do because driving and, on the plane, I only take one bag. And I always had to be conscious of how much stuff I was purchasing because I, can't take it all on the plane if I get too much stuff. But now with driving, I don't have to worry about space as much as I would on a plane. So watch out, Singles Club. I'm headed your way and maybe spending a little more than I typically do. And that's a very popular location at the show. So shout out to them folks. They do a great job. And, they got a nice system now, too, where they don't put everything out that first day. So every day they put some fresh inventory out so you can get some nice deals all through the show and not everything getting kind of cherry picked day one and it's over, right? Good job by them sort of adjusting to that issue, which isn't an issue anymore. So that's, it's going to blur by, right? I'm coming in on Tuesday. I'm leaving on Sunday. It's going to be, a great time. And, as I always say, if you go to National and don't have fun, God forbid something bad happened or you did something wrong, right? And really looking forward to this trip and, going to be fun and going to do, going to do some on-floor interviews, if you will. I've got a new kind of Rode mic that's sort of with a transmitter from my phone, and it's wireless. And so I expect some better quality Rode audio. I know we did the interview with Kyle Robertson in Dallas, and that mic did not sound as good as I was hoping. So I think I've kind of solved that issue with a new microphone that will make its debut in Atlantic City. So if you're going, hit me up on social media if you want to meet. I love to shake hands, talk hobby at the Sports Card Nation Live, which will be Thursday. I anticipate having some T-shirts to give away. How many, I'm not sure. I got to check my inventory. There'll be some Hobby Quick Hit shirts being given out. But again, hope to meet you there and talk some hobby, talk some life, whatever the cards hold, pun intended. But, to those going, safe travels, and, hope to see you there. We're going to take a quick break, and then I'll come back with some closing thoughts.
Check out our website at www.sportscardnationpodcast.com for the new release schedule, our blog, all show episodes, and so much more.
All right. Thanks for listening to Hobby Quick Hits. Appreciate you out there. Hope to meet some of you, as I always say, at the National or anywhere. For that matter, but we got the National coming up. So just a few shameless plugs, if I may. On Friday, Sports Card Nation, I have Mr. David Moody, the largest collector of original card art on the planet. Great interview with David, and got some really important part of hobby history. He owns some of it. We're going to talk about how that all kind of came about, what it is, and all those great details. And we'll see you back here next Monday for another edition of Hobby Quick Hits, the last one before the show. I will probably have a Hobby Quick Hits after the show. I'm going to guess it's going to air on Tuesday rather than Monday, but I'm not sure yet. All right, everyone, thanks again. We'll see you soon.